such thing as player killers. You got a son or a daughter who wants to further their career and play D1 sports. Coaches have some of the biggest egos in the whole goddamn world. But your coach is coaching your child's talent where it can't be seen. But what good is it being talented if there's no way for you to display it? The worst thing you could do is just go wherever the boat sails. Because if you keep going wherever that boat sails, your career is going right along with it. You have to work your ass off as hard as you can when you're in practice, when you're in games. The easy way out, if I can just say, well, you don't work hard, that's an easy dismissal of whatever you're saying. Why should I give you more of a lead? Why should I give you more of an opportunity to show your talents and your strengths? And you're in here bullshit. You're not serious. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy L64 The Journey, and welcome to Cruising and Conversation. All right? And let me just say this. I've been on a bit of a hiatus. I've been slacking, but I had that flu bug. I don't know what they put in that stuff nowadays, but I was down and out for a minute. Then when I thought I was getting better, I ended up having a sinus infection, and it just went on and on and on. That's the first time I got sick like that in years. But anyway, look, moving forward, before we get into this video and this new content, be sure to subscribe to that channel, the letter L, number 64 The Journey, so you can keep up with the latest and greatest content, y'all. All right, I'm doing this for y'all, baby. Anyway, let's get into this conversation. So today's conversation is going to be dealing with sports, and it's going to be dealing with coaching, okay? Can't have coaching without sports in this situation anyway. But we want to talk about coaching, and we're going to talk about the student athlete and some adverse conditions that they may face along the way dealing with coaches. And we're going to talk about parents that may have to deal with it as well, because whatever they go through, you go through. All right. So moving into this, you ever had that coach, and I'm speaking as an athlete, where you feel like they just don't like you? Being the coach. The coach just doesn't rock with you. He doesn't see the talent in you. It seems like he doesn't want you to excel, you know, and this may not be true, but it seems like that to you. He's not playing you. He's not letting you get a chance to show your talents. All of the above, right? You ever been through that? I have. I think all of us been through that. Some of it is just growing pains with us not understanding people and not understanding that we need to work harder sometimes. But there are some legit cases where what you have, what I would consider is, before I say that, you got like 3 different types of coaching. Me, for one, I got into coaching as a volunteer because it was a way for me to give back. I love basketball, and more so than basketball, is a way for me to bond with these young men and be in their lives so that I can have a footnote in helping with our community, helping to give back. So that's what I did it for. And the basketball was just icing on the cake, you know. That was like, all right, I love basketball. Now we can share this thing that we got in common together and build. And, you know, I love the fact that a lot of the kids that I coach now, they in high school, getting ready to go to college, you know, et cetera, et cetera. When we see them, it's always love. I'm able to hug them. I'm able to tell them I love them. You know, it's just a beautiful thing. But there's like 3 different types of coaches. I don't want to jump off topic. You got some who do it for the love. You got some who do it for themselves. You got some who do it because they bored and they need something to do. And you got some that do it for the money. All right? Whichever one is for you to figure it out, because it'll save you a lot of time, headache, and frustration. But anyway, if you are a kid, I'm going to keep this shit a buck right now. If you send your kid to a school, and I'm speaking to parents right now, and this kid goes to a school where you feel as though the coach doesn't have his best interests at heart, a couple things we got to observe before we even think that that's the case. There has to be conversations. All right, now the higher you go in levels, you got to understand the parents is out of it. The coaches don't care what that parent says to them once they get to their school. A lot of coaches like, hey, if you want to do this and if you want to do that, you can take your kid and we can get rid of them and deal with somebody else. So understand it. But I'm talking about high school right now, because that's a big transitional point. You know why? What you do in high school determines what's going to happen with you and what schools you'll have available to you and what schools will be interested in you. So your game and your stats is like your resume. Hey, here's my resume. I got 10 points a game. I got 5 rebounds a game. I got 5 assists a game. I got 2 steals a game. I got something to put on a resume. So coaches look at that. They look at your performance. They look at what you do. You need a resume with anything. So once we get past that, understand this. As a player, once you go to a coach, and now this coach has what you call a system. So maybe he's running the Princeton offense. Maybe he's running more of a motion offense. Whatever it is that coach is running, you have to figure it out. And you might go there thinking, I'm going to automatically go there. I'm going to average 20 this year. I'm going to average this. And you find out it's nothing like you thought it was going to be. Right? So now, instead of you averaging 20, you're averaging 2 points. Instead of you averaging 10 assists, you averaging 1. Instead of you got 8-minute quarters and you thinking you're going to play 32 minutes, you're playing 12. So you're trying to figure it out, but you can't understand why the coach doesn't see the things that you see and why he doesn't see you and your talent. But here's what I would say to you as parents. The biggest thing you have to do is communicate with your children and teach them how to communicate. You have to be a communicator first and foremost, though, because I'm going to tell you something. They make it seem like when you're in school that academics. Let me tell you something. Academics, absolutely. To me, I'm not disrespecting it because that is very important for you to be intelligent and to worry about your education. That is the most important thing. But make no mistakes about it. I don't feel guilty when we talk the business of sports. If your kid ain't looking to excel past high school ball and he doing it for fun, fine. But you are going to have kids that want to go and further their career with basketball. So if you don't have a resume, how the hell are you going to achieve your goals? So that's where we at right here. If you are a kid who aspires to do more with your career with basketball, but your coach isn't playing you, he isn't giving you a chance to put your talents on display, how do you handle those situations? Let's address that. All right. So one, I'm gonna go straight for the student athlete first. You got to make sure your ass is working as hard as you can. Because for one, the coach is going to look for reasons to pick you apart and have an excuse for them not to play you, not to do certain things. Understand that. Nobody wants to be wrong, period. Nobody likes being wrong. So if you're questioning them about a decision that they're making, coach, why I'm playing behind so-and-so? He don't do this better than me. He don't do that better than me. I'm better at this. Da-da-da-da. First of all, you got to take accountability for yourself first. Are you playing as hard as you can? Are you giving the coach what he wants you to give him? Because you ain't going to go to an adult or to a coach and tell him how to run his damn system that he's been running for years. All right, understand that. So you got to make sure you're doing what you need to do before you go to anybody. Are you being a good teammate? Are you coming to practice on time? Are you working hard? Are you the last one to leave that damn gym? Are you doing what everybody else is doing? Are you setting yourself apart? Because these are going to be the things that the coach look at to say, hey, maybe I'll listen to what this kid got to say. He is hard working and he seems to take this serious. Now, that don't mean you're going to have success dealing with coaches, because coaches have very huge egos, as everybody knows. All right? Some worse than others. So next, you have to learn how to communicate. A lot of kids think because they're they're children and they're not adults, that they can't communicate and go to their coaches and say, hey, coach, what's going on with this? You know, I got a question for you. No, you have to be able to speak up for yourself, because me as a parent, honestly, I don't like going to coaches. I want you to be able to speak for yourself. So at a certain point, you got to be able to go to the coach and express what it is that you see going on. That's the starting point. You got to build a relationship, even if that person is an introvert or they're not the type that really is what you would call a player's coach. So they ain't really good with communicating and building relationships. You'll find some coaches like that. Some coaches is easy, you know, but a lot of them don't. So what you have to do from that point, you have to bring up the obvious things. And we got to look at this. First of all, if they're in a bad situation as a parent, before I go forward, you got to make the best decisions for your children. A lot of people loyal to programs, and then guess what? 1 year passed, 2 year passed, 3 year passed. You have no offers. You have no scholarships. You have nothing. But you kept your kid in a situation that wasn't productive because you were scared to make a move. Well, life is like this, man. If you continue to do the same thing, you'll get the same results. Sometimes you got to throw it out there and roll the dice. I'm not saying it's easy, but that's our responsibility to make the best decisions we can for our children. All right. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, you talk to the coach. Hey, coach, you know, I really aspire to do more with my career with basketball. I want to go to a high D1 school and play ball. I got dreams of doing this. This is something I always wanted to do my whole life. I live this. I eat this. I dream this. This is all I want to do. Now the coach, you having a conversation with him. He may say, well, you're not doing this. You're not doing that. Like I said, coaches tend to want to explain. Coaches tend to want to have an excuse, just like people do. They want to have a rebuttal to what you're saying. So if you can understand that this coach is riding with you on this, maybe he'll give you the opportunity. You'll understand that you have a better chance at least getting an answer. Well, here, coach, I'm only getting 5 shots a game. I'm only getting 2 shots a game. How can I do anything with that? Is it a way I can get more shots up in the game? You know? And what if he says, well, I'm glad you asked that question, but no, my offense isn't ran through guards. It's ran based on feeding the bigs and the upperclassmen. Well, now at least you know what the situation is. But if you want to go pouting and getting in your feelings and just assuming things just because, you know, you don't like what's going on, you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. So that's why I say communication is important. Communication is important in any relationship. Romantic, you know what I mean? A job situation, education, sports, anything. A coach and a player has a relationship. There has to be some communication between the two. If you choose to take the other path and let somebody determine your career, then that's on you. But you, at least to get an answer, you have something to go on. You know, and you need to go to them with facts, not feelings. People like to say, I feel like so-and-so ain't doing. No, you need to have facts. I'm not turning the ball over. I'm averaging 1 turnover a game and I'm averaging 4 assists. Why can't I shoot the ball? You know, da-da-da-da-da. You have to have facts. You can't go to anybody with feelings, because feelings don't get you anywhere when you're doing things like this. Trust me, it don't. You got to go to them with facts. So you being able to express that you want more from basketball is not a bad thing. Do not be ashamed to say what you dream and what your goal is. Everyone should have goals. Don't let these coaches and these programs make you feel like you're wrong for saying something about sports. Hell, they're giving athletic scholarships for sports. It has nothing to do with anything else a lot of times. Say what it is you want and fight for what you want. That's my advice to you. All right? That's going to be that. Understand, every coach don't have your best interest at heart. That is not a knock to any of these coaches. What their goals is and what your goals are could be completely different. And once you find out that person doesn't see a future for you, or they don't have you at the forefront of what's going on, because coaching ain't about us, to be honest with you, it's about these kids. But some people make it be about them. They want to be the star of the show, or they want to do things to the point where it's a tyrannical situation where you don't have a word to speak. You know at that point it's not a good fit for you. The sooner you can find that out, the better off you can be with your career, and the quicker you can move on and get headed towards your dream. You understand what I'm saying? But understand, so I want to say that again. Parents, make the best decisions for your kids. Make sure you're involved. Make sure you understand what's going on. Understand how your kid feels. Understand where the coach is coming from. Kids, learn how to communicate. Don't wait till you're an adult. It starts now. It starts now. 13, 14, 15, shit, 12. You have to learn how to communicate, because this ain't going to be the first time you deal with this. History repeats itself. Life is an ongoing cycle of things happening over and over again. So don't think that this might be the first time you get a coach that don't see things the way you see it, and you feel like you're being undervalued. So learn how to speak up for yourself, all right? And that's my advice to the parents and to the kids, all right? This your boy L64, The Journey. I'm getting ready to get off here, man. It's been a while. I'm back. I'm loving it. I'm going to keep pumping out this content, all right? Again, be sure to like and subscribe, all right? Make sure you subscribe to that letter L, number 64-The Journey. And we're going to keep this thing moving, all right? So you can keep up with the latest and greatest content. My inspiration comes from you guys as well as myself. So I'm going to keep pumping out the content. We're going to keep this thing moving, all right? So peace, love, and blessings to everybody. I hope you had a good holiday. Be safe. Stay prayed up. All praise to the Most High. And we out, all right?